Hi guys, and welcome back to Birmingham Fan TV. This is your Stoke match preview, guys, and hopefully this one is, somehow managing to get out on the air before 7 o'clock on the Friday evening instead of Saturday morning at 2 p.m, which seems to have been an inconsistency of mine over the last few weeks. So, big apology on that one. Few issues with that one.
Busy at work?
We're not going to go into it. You know exactly why.
Busy at work.
Imagine having a job.
Yeah, imagine having a job, you students. Who pays for your lifestyle?
Taxpayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Tax
Us
dodger.
taxpayers. But yeah, if you could, obviously, before we do get into the video, subscribe to the channel. I know we're close to, I think it's like 1,400 subscribers. We're going to have some big competitions and giveaways in the next few weeks when I can get some loose ends tied up and that. So it'll be exciting times ahead, guys, so please don't forget. And if you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell as well. So every video that comes out, you are notified as and when it's released. And if you can leave a like on this video and obviously leave your comments down below. So we want to know your score predictions and I want to know your team lineups. I think things are going to change this week and I think there's going to be a few changes to be made. So I want to see what you guys are thinking, whether the system's going to change, whether it's just a personnel change, with it's 5 at the back, 4 at the back, who's up front, who's in midfield. Lots of changes, lots of things to discuss, but we're going to get into it now anyway. And guys, it's good to have you on. We've got Wes, father, brother. You know both of them from the vlogs. Obviously, I know we're not vlogging this year, but I said that I'd get you on a little bit more. You were kind of favourites last year, the pair of you. So I think it'd be good to get your opinions for this one. So, assess the start to the season.
I'd like to sum it up in one word, but there may be under 18s watching, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think Blues fans are deluded enough to even begin to sort of suggest that we've had a good start to the season. We've had good moments in games, and that's probably the best that we can possibly say. We know that the recruitment has been sporadic. We should have put money into replacing this chap.
Yeah.
But we never did, and I think that's already showing that that's going to create problems. We should have recruited fullbacks if we want to play a wing-back system, and then we probably could have got by, in fairness, even with probably one creative midfielder. So far, we've shown moments around sort of the forward lines of brilliance. But that brilliance is no good if you can't connect it up all the dots and have an end result. Campy in goal is Campy in goal. He has moments of absolute genius and then moments of absolute tomfoolery. So
tomfoolery.
It's typical Campo.
Yeah.
So if I was going to do a school report, not good enough. Poor effort.
Needs improvement.
Needs massive improvement, and
Yeah.
I am, and I think I tweeted the other day. We have had a terrible start, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I think that's all Blues fans. I think we all enjoy that roller coaster ride, and we just want to.
Yeah. We're
just happy when Saturday comes, so we can get down there and do what we do best.
Get behind them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no one's gonna go down there tomorrow and say, you know what, we're gonna set out to boo and to get on the team's back, because we're not. We'll go down there, we'll back them. We just want to, I said to you, I don't mind us going down losing if we go down trying, but I saw nothing of that on Sunday. It's not like they don't care, but I don't think anybody understands the system. I don't think anybody understands what they're doing. Chaz, you've been down a few games this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, I ain't getting my season ticket. Living in London moving to London the next week, so
no excuses. I had to come back from London.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Some of us are budgeting.
You're moving to London, not Mars. Although,
yeah, you might not hear off him.
Yeah.
I'll fall off the face of the earth from you when I live in Tamworth. Never mind. Never know, I live near London, so
This is true.
yeah. For me, I'll get straight to the point. Without having a proper manager in place and having a caretaker, interim, permanent manager, whatever they've labelled him as, it's not going to get a club anywhere or a team anywhere. Implementing the system that he's trying to play is not a Blues way of playing. Over the years, we've never played like that, even under managers such as Chris Hughton. So that system for Blues just isn't what we're used to. We're an English team. We'll rather battle rather than play this fancy football. It's nice to look at, but as a young fan who's grew up watching Blues since being weeks old, I've seen more relegation battles and promotions from my memory. And this year, for me, seems like it's heading that way again. So until we get a manager in place, which at the moment seems to be Javi Khan, that's it.
Yeah.
Is that Javi Khan? Is that you say Javi Khan? Is that
Javi Khan?
Is that an opinion, or is that based on your subversive contacts?
I'd rather say it's with the way things are going. We never saw the likes of Richard Beale sitting on the bench for a first team game. Yeah, they took over at Bournemouth and we got battered 8-0, but that's not the point. If he sat there on the bench and they're implementing the same style with the under-23s that they are with the first team, then there's got to be some link there for him to take over in the future or within the next 10-12 weeks, something like
that. Everybody knows my opinion by now. I think I've spread it enough on this channel, spread it enough online. I said, I questioned whether my tweet last week when I said that things aren't clicking may have been perceived as this sort of, I'm trying to be a negative person. It's not, it's just being realistic. And I didn't get any criticism as such, but it was like, I have to sit there and assess, my own thoughts. And I thought, was I being a bit harsh? And then we read the stats and I've thought back over all the games and I've thought, we had last season and we started last season in like the opening month and we actually were lingering really low down as well. We couldn't score was the problem, but we were creating 10, 12, 13 opportunities a game. We just couldn't hit a barn door. Yeah. We were hitting the post. Keepers were having worldies. And that was the thing where Blues fans weren't moaning last season because you knew that performances were there. It will click eventually. The ball will start going in the back of the net eventually, and it did. This year, I'm seeing none of it. I'm seeing no shape, no style, no cohesiveness. I'm seeing nothing from it. I see a bunch of lads out there who are going to give 120% every single game, and they will. And I know that every player in that team cares, to a point, obviously. Yeah. But it doesn't seem to be working. I personally, first of all, labelled it to the system. And secondly, I put it down to, the style of play. And I made a point to him yesterday, and I think I'm going to make it on here today. Very controversial. But we'll get into that in the team lineups. Stoke at home is a bit of a bogey game for me. Now, they've not won a league game all season. We've won 2. We won 2? We won 2? Yeah. Yeah, we beat Brentford, we beat Barnsley. I needed some reminding. Stoke at home, they haven't won all. We're on the downer. They're lining up, their last game they lined up with this 3-5-2, 3-5-1-1. Both teams seem to be having the same problems going forward. I can only see this being a 1-0 Stoke.
I can't disagree. I can't see any other result, and I hope that I'm proved wrong, and I'll come back on the show and eat humble pie. Humble pie. Is it a pie or a bread? Can you have humble bread? Do you think? Humble bread.
You can. It's humble.
It's humble. I don't understand your intellectual references.
Go to uni.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, sorry, he's going to uni.
I'm sorry.
No one's ever said humble pie to me in their life, Wes.
Really, no one's ever said eating humble pie.
No.
Wow.
Okay, so when you get to university,
must have been your 1970s talk.
Yeah, that's all you will be eating is humble pie.
You dinosaur.
I was born in the 90s, and even I know what that means.
But I can't see any other result. And if there are any Stoke fans watching this,
there will be.
Put a small bet on to get some return. Say your entire house, because it's a guaranteed nail-on win. First 3 points of the season for Stoke. Absolute nail-on. I intend to put someone else's house on it probably. So, absolute, Stoke. And like JJ's already said, there's no cohesion in the team, and these guys will give you 100% if you get them motivated and organised enough. And the last couple of managers prove that. But I think we're just heading in completely the wrong direction with the wrong players.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the players that we brought in are bad, But I mean, look at Crowley.
Quality.
Yeah, he can't get in the team because he can't play alongside Villalba because they are like twins.
Chalk and cheese.
They play the same football together, and I'm sure in a squad system where you could probably possibly play them as wingers, or during a warm up they can pass the ball around and not lose it, and that's great. But in the same team, no, not even close. So it's mind boggling.
I have an opinion on that one, but like I said, I'll save that one for when we get to the lineups. But I feel like they can work together. However, it's got to be a specific way. I do agree though that because they're so similar, and when you pair them into attacking midfield positions, they're sitting alongside each other and they're doing the same thing and they're walking into each other at times. Yeah. I do agree. It's completely the right thing.
You see, the problem that we've got is with the system is you've got Djukovic up front on his own, who thrived under the help of Adams last year.
Yeah.
Adams was just as much of a bully as Djukovic, if not more, with his presence on the pitch. But we don't have that. We've got Crowley, who's the size of me. Villalba is probably even smaller than me. It's not going to work for him when he's up front chasing shadows. And really, Crowley and Villalba aren't quick. The quickest player we've got in the team is Montero. You've got Seddon, who doesn't want to attack because he's not a winger. You've got Maxime Collin, who...
It's quality.
Bowl and Bowl, he's probably the best fullback in the league.
Best right back, certainly.
As such. And then you've got no support. We have the players who can fill a role and do their role well. What we need in every team. You've got Sunic who can defend, who can be a marshal and defend that whole back line on his own single-handedly and take out an influential player out of the game. But then we're trying to play a system that bypasses Sunic doing that role and would rather see more involved in the attacking sense, which is completely opposite to what he's used to. So you've got Dean, Roberts, and whoever else working at centre-back, Pedersen, has been recent, who aren't ball-playing defenders. You saw Wolves use this system when they thrived in the Championship, but they had ball-playing defenders. They had Willy Bolly, who they've still got. They had Connor Cody.
Mm-hmm. But he's had to adapt, hasn't he, Connor Cody?
Yes,
but he was good.
But on the ball, this is the whole reason we brought in Clark Salter, who's dreadful. I'm not even going to get into it, but the reason being is because he was a ball-playing defender to suit the system. Yeah. But now we've got Arlie Dean, who loves a route man. Bless his heart, I love him.
But that
brilliant player. But
that he never used to do that, did he?
No, at Brentford he had the system under Brentford of playing out from the back. Brentford's philosophy is bang on for every Championship club. Their philosophy always is bang on. But when players have come to us, the system that Blues are so used to is getting rid of the ball, getting up to the strikers and build from there. I've never known a Blues team play out from the back.
No, I struggle to remember many teams for Blues that will play steady build up and build it up. We've played decent. We've never played terrible. We have played terrible football, but it's not been attractive.
If you actually remember the Alex McLeish teams, they always played out from the back. They played out from the back. No, they did. They played out from the back because they would draw teams in, and they would always try and play on the counter. His tactics were very simple. Frustrate the team until the 89th minute.
Yes.
You look at the number of times you've won games 1-0 in the last few minutes. Yeah. So there was no value in him then sort of putting us on the back foot and hoofing the ball over. So that's about playing it out and frustrating the team and pulling them out, trying to get something on the end of people like Cameron Jerome. Yeah. And the number of times we did that, we wore teams down. So he was probably the last manager that played that to an effect.
I think the way he played it though was, we pass it out from the back, but it wasn't like what Pep's trying to get to is this consistent pressure of
going through the ranks,
but consistently having them penned back. Whereas McLeish would, keep it at the back and then build quickly. So we'd pass it, but we'd push quickly, and then we'd play it into the channels and get it in.
Yeah. So you look at our system. You take away our fullbacks. You double them up with a fullback and a winger. We have no outlet, which is why you've seen we've had to revert to long ball, and we say, well, that's not our system. But the minute you take away Colin and you take away Seds, we've got no one left.
And the problem is if you've only got the big man up front, and we all love him, so it's not a criticism.
It's going to go down as a.
But his first touch is ridiculous.
It's not great.
It's not great. So how can you start playing along the ground to a man whose first touch is not great? 9 times out of 10, he knocks the ball out of his own stride, and he's having to win it back.
Yeah. What he does well. He does the best in the league. He's the best in the league at what he does, which is his hold up play, his aerial ability. His finishing is good.
Yeah.
He's the best for me at what he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
But sometimes you can't. Yeah. You can lead a horse to water.
As I said, he thrived with Shea Adams, because with what Djukovic couldn't do, Adams done exceptionally well.
There's almost an argument to say take him out. Take Duke out and put in Odin Bailey and Bellingham, because I know that seemed they're kids, right? Okay, but look at the way we're playing around the final third.
Oh, yeah.
You need the movement. You need these sharp kids to be moving around, so the likes of Villalba can pick passes off. Whereas the Duke is very static. He's waiting for that ball in from the top, and as you've seen, the last couple of goals he scored round the outside, byline and in. But
he's a back post.
If you took him out and brought these 2 quick kids in alongside the likes of Villalba,
it's an outlet.
It creates a whole different dynamic.
You're getting on a similar line to what I want to get onto in a minute with the lineups. But we'll look at Stoke quickly. Their last game, they got beat 3-0 at home to Leeds. I mean, Leeds are a great team. They're going to go up this year. For me, no doubt. Bielsa's a world-class manager.
Yeah, I mean, they should. They should.
Jack Butland does.
They probably should have gone up last year. Well, yeah, but the cup. I think they rested players for the cup game, so it wasn't entirely. They didn't. I think it was a true reflection. I think you look at the league game. While Stoke did well to beat Leeds at Leeds in the cup.
Apart from a howler from Jack Butland.
Yeah, of course. So they had 7 shots, 2 on target. This was at home last week.
Yeah.
Only 2 on target. They only 215 passes. Still better than what we've done.
I was going to say with 7 shots is a lot more than what we seem to have usually on a basis.
At home we seem to be managing 7 shots, but away from home
we're barely getting shots. We barely create chances. The 7 shots that we are having are not inside the box, or they're just their efforts. We've seen from Villalba where keepers have tipped a few over, but they're never going in.
No, they're speculative.
They're lucky strikes that you're hoping the keeper's going to parry and fall to someone.
I mean, we'll look at their team as well. Obviously, from the last game, what I could pick up from statistics, Tom Ince was their key player. He created the most amount of chances for them. He was probably their most potent attacking threat, which I would expect from a player. They probably was it 10 million they spent on him from Huddersfield.
An awful lot.
Something close to that. Yeah, he's class.
He's a good quality player. Yeah.
He has been in the Championship for many years. One of them players that is like Jerome.
Yeah. He can do a great job at this level,
and then goes to the Premier League. I mean, Jerome did score 10 goals for us one year or so. So
yeah, I mean Stoke, and I don't want to upset again any Stoke fans if you're watching. I haven't seen a lot of Stoke, and I've got nothing against them as a club or a team. They almost seem to be in free fall in terms of that progression, and we saw it when we went down to sort of the Cottrell levels, if you will. You almost kind of panic buy.
Yeah.
And I think again it's like you can compare them to sort of the Wolves situation, where the Wolves moved quickly to try and change things, and they got it right. And at Stoke, the board said, right, we want to bring somebody in who's going to play football. We're going to get rid of some of the high earners and start sort of basing it around team performances rather than individuals, which they did. But it's not going right. It's not sitting right. Their manager seems a decent enough guy. He's trying to play football the right way, but it's not coming together now. Whether he's still got to erode some of the team and get some hungry players in, if you will. Maybe some of the players that are at Stoke have got a bit stale.
Yeah.
And get rid of influences like Jack Butland, and we love Jack at Blues, and really start a fresh start again. And it happens to clubs who've been in the Premier League, and they've got a bit of a hangover in the last 3 or 4 seasons, like Leeds.
Like Leeds. I mean, for sure. I mean, the last team that I lined up with was Federici in goal. So I think they dropped Butland for the last game at home, but they obviously brought him back Tuesday night. And they played a back 3, like what we've been trying to do. Collins, Carter Vickers and Lindsay, they signed from Wigan, and obviously Carter Vickers is on loan from Spurs, I believe. Edwards and James McLean were the full-backs, wing-backs. But, James McLean's playing as a left wing-back. This is my point about our wing-backs. They're not attacking enough.
No.
James McLean's a winger.
He's too scared to go forward. You've seen the amount of times Sen's had so much space to drive forward and he decided to whip an early crossing. Which
I don't think he's let himself down, but
he's done a cracking job for a kid who's came into the side and made his first team debut this year, and has been in there almost week in week out. He's done a fantastic job. But for me, when you have a wing back, he needs to be a wing back rather than a full back.
Yeah.
Because
they've got to be wingers as well.
They've got to drive us forward as a team.
Yeah.
And you saw it worked at Brentford. He whipped in an early ball and we scored a fluke. It was a complete fluke. Everyone knows it. But we've seen it a couple of times. He's rushed passes, but he's got himself 2 assists for the season. I'm not going to moan at Seds. He's had a good bright start to the season. So we'll keep him in there for the time being.
No, for sure. And then they've got a midfield 3 sort of Jordan Cousins from QPR, Atebo and Klukas with Mark Duffy in behind Lee Gregory. And now Mark Duffy is one that you just know is going to come back and haunt us if he plays on Saturday. Nightmare. And he's a decent player.
Yeah.
But he's just an arse.
It's the same as the problems that we've had. Players at Blues sometimes don't click.
They don't click.
As you see with we have it with Hatter. Last year didn't click with the side. We expected so much, and he didn't click for us, and that's the problem. You've got Villa fans raving about him now, and the same with Duffy at Sheffield United. He didn't click for us. Goes off elsewhere and does what we brought him to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. If they match up with this 5-3-5 at the back, however you want to look at it, they're going to do it better than us. I don't care what anybody says. The way we play this 5 at the back or 3 at the back is one of the weirdest and least effective ways of playing 3 or 5 at the back I've ever witnessed a team play.
Yeah.
I was excited about it when they said it was going to happen, because I know that Wolves have played it and gone up, and Sheffield United have played it and gone up, and at times Leeds have played it. Loads of teams that know how to play it, and they'll play teams off the park.
I think any team who's going to play that formation, if they've got the players, are going to play it better than us, because we don't have the players to play that formation. We can do a solid back 4. We can play a 3 with midfielders, but not 3 and two wing backs. If you can get Cater back in the team, I think today.
Played 60 minutes.
Had a decent game. Yeah. Maybe you've got a chance if they can stand up to the rigours of the league.
I thought he did okay when he was under Zola. I thought he stood up.
He's a cracking player.
We all said, he'd make a good winger as well, but yeah, as a wing back, he's excellent. With Colin on the other side, you stand a bit of a chance. But again, then you need to sort the central midfield out, and people are having to go at the Harvard massive. But I think Davis is.
I think Davis has been better.
Davis has been great. You need that. That's why they call him Digger, because you need someone to get stuck in. And
he's matched with Sunic. Sunic does the same thing.
Yeah.
Sunic just does the dirty work rather than messing about with the fancy stuff.
Well, every time I've seen Gardner this year, come on, he's not been the same player. And
no,
I think he's played out. Every time he's played out of position.
He's playing on the wing.
Yeah.
Every
so
time.
I don't know. I think it's a case of just trying to fit him in.
Yeah.
And I don't get that.
That's crazy.
You need those strength and depth on the bench to bring him on for for like.
Yeah.
So keep him on the bench or play him, but don't play all 3 of them and have to mash them all in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll get into the Blues team now, and I'll put mine across because we'll expand on it from here. I'd go back to a back 4 this week, because the back for me, I don't think we can play this back 5-3, because I just think that we've had enough time to try and mould ourselves and play it. It's not working. I go to a back 4. I go with Camp, Colin, who is match fit for this game. I would go with Dean and Roberts. I go with Pedersen simply for his experience rather than Seddon, which is annoying because Seddon's much better going forward, but Pedersen's consistency could help, and Stoke are quite a physical team as well.
You need that strength.
Yeah. I'd go with the midfield 2 of Sunic and Davis. I would then go with an attacking midfield 3, so I'd sit Crowley just in front of those. I'd play Vialbra out on one side, Montero on the other. And I said to M, controversially, that I would drop both strikers. I would play with a false 9 of Magoma or Marabti. depending who was in. Now, before I get absolutely battered in the comments...
You're going to get battered.
I'm going to get battered. No, and hear me
I
out.
can see the bruises coming on.
No, hold on, hear me out. You've got to put these ideas out.
As soon as I heard Morabity, I just thought...
No, I'm just saying...
Morabiti's about the season is set.
Season set. No, I think Morabity, first of all, hasn't been given a fair shout still. I still don't think he has. I don't think he has.
I think he has, and you say what's a fair shout? We can all see, anybody with half hour's intelligence can see a decent player within the first 5 minutes. Yeah. So if anybody disagrees with me, then there you go.
No, that hurt me.
So yeah, okay, but you can within the first few minutes. Behind it. You know what I mean? Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, they're on the ball. You can see they're a good player. Even if you didn't know who they were, you can see they're a good quality player.
We saw it with Montero.
You see it with Montero. Yeah, as soon as somebody comes on, you don't need to give him 5 or 6 games to judge him. You know straight away if you can keep him fit and maintain that consistency, what he's capable of. So for me, I've not seen Morabity, and I've seen him in pre-season. I've seen him whatever we've managed to get him in games, and last season. He's simply not good enough.
Okay, well, fair enough. We'll go with Magoma then in that position.
Do you go with your team?
No. Okay, no, but I gave an option of 2 because I wouldn't know who would do it. But there's a reason behind it. Now, I think the reasoning for me personally would be, okay, he's probably not going to drop both strikers. He's going to play one of them or both of them, probably both of them tomorrow. But the reasoning behind it is I find that the reason we're not playing this passing style of football is because there's an easy option to put it up the top to Duke. Yeah, the players are going.
Although
we're under pressure.
You've got to look at the way Swansea set up against us. They took out our fullbacks and they played better football. The problem with this system for us is if you get a team who can pass the ball better than us, which is the simplest thing in football, you get a team that can pass the ball better than us and we will not win the game.
No, but that I think that comes from bravery. We're not confident enough to say we're going to push you 30, 40, 50 yards back onto the edge of your own box. We're not going to keep you pinned in and we're not going to keep the ball because we know that as soon as a team comes onto us, if we win the ball back, instead of being confident and saying we're going to keep this ball, and we might make some risky passes to keep the ball, instead of doing that, we're going to put it up the top to Duke or Alvaro. It's not the striker's fault that I would drop them. It's to encourage this pass in now. Because the only way you can do it is to eliminate the high ball.
But we've not...
And he's an easy option. Because even when we've tried to play passing, so against Bristol we tried it sometimes, but Duke has this season won more aerial duels than anyone in the league. What does that say? We are still clinging on.
We're putting the ball up to him, that's why.
And it's not out of a game plan. It's out of... We're rushing, we're panicking. Pass the ball.
But we've seen with previous teams, Jay, even if you take the big man out, we still want to put the ball.
Yeah,
if we were going to put the ball up to a level.
We said it last year when Duke was out.
Yeah.
Everyone still wanted to heat up.
Hoof the ball up.
It's the mentality that's been driven in. But
then how do you...
We don't learn.
Why don't we just knock this passing tippy-tappy? We've spent 10 million on all these players to do it. Why don't we knock that on the head and just go and sign a load of hoofballers again?
Because
that's the only...
Dong ball. He don't want it.
It's the only other option.
I don't understand this dong ball.
Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
When he came out after he sacked Gary Monk, he said that he wanted to play a good philosophy. A good
dong ball as in a style of football.
Dong ball. So dong ball being the style of football. Yeah, but we don't learn. We saw this with Zola.
Not like Lee Clark's bingo balls.
Oh no,
Lee Clark's bingo balls.
Yeah, they were the best. Come on, every week. We should have
guessed the line.
Yeah,
that would have been fun for
doing that. Yeah.
I miss Callum Rowley.
Remember when he played at left back?
He said Lee Caddis was the best centre midfielder in the league. Wow. Oh Jesus!
But you see my points. You see my points. That's the only thing. For me, Duke would, if we were going to play this passing football and have the striker just in the box to do his thing and finish, then Duke would never move for me.
Where's get your team out?
But that's my reason. You thinking 4 or 5 at the back?
I would. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because you've got to say, well, at this point, do you then change your philosophy or stick with your philosophy? For me, I think you should stick with this philosophy. Yeah. I really do. I think if you're going down this path, follow it and be true to yourself. Stick with the 3, and the 3 would be Pedersen, Harley Dean, and
it's got to be Roberts in it.
So you've got 3 good, solid centre halves. What you need now is you say your fullback. So if is Colin back tomorrow?
Should be.
If Colin's back, he goes straight in. If Keita is Keita could play. He's only played for an hour.
He did get taken off after 60 minutes.
He won't play tomorrow if he's playing for the 23s.
Same
with Clark Salter.
I'm gonna hope that he is. So
he may be on the bench.
I'm gonna put him in there and hope that he does start him. But okay, so there's my 5 central midfielders. Have got to be Digger and Sunic, and then I would go with. Montero as a narrow winger, with Villalba doing exactly the same. And then having Duke play deeper than Jimenez.
So again, a false 9.
So a false 9. So he plays deep. He wins the ball.
Wait, you've put 12 players.
You've put 12 players in there, Wes.
That makes no sense. You can't. You can only have one of the strikers.
You've got you're taking out Villalba or someone there, Wes.
Did I say?
You've put Villalba and Montero.
You said Davis,
Alvaro and Duke.
Can we not have 12 players?
No, I can't.
Well, you can ask. You went with a 5.
Went with the
5, 2.
So again, a 9, but playing as like you say, false 9.
So you're putting Duke. You're putting Duke up there, but as a false 9.
But as a false 9,
deeper than the two.
And the 2 narrow wingers.
Montero and Villalba.
That's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like the sound of that.
No, I was thinking of going along the same lines as you.
But you're still moaning about Crowley being dropped, and you've still dropped him.
He would not suit that.
People saying put him
but
in
he wouldn't,
central
because
midfield.
you want somebody who's direct, and he likes to sort of come side to side and find a pass. He can play direct.
I love that though. I love that kind of play.
You need directness.
For me, I'd picture the same team as you minus the 12 players. I'd put the 11 on.
You've messed
I
up.
am going to sort of
feel that.
Have
although the reason being they play the same system. They take the lead. We go to a 4 at the back and we move Seds to the wing. And then obviously we'd be able to put Montero up front with Duke, or Jude come off the bench. But that's so mine would be.
I think we're all in agreement that Montero needs to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he's, I mean, he came on and he blew on the way.
Although his hamstrings are like cheese strings, he should
keeping him fit.
That's the thing; he's keeping him fit and maintaining consistency.
Yeah, Pep in the preview said that he banged on about how good Montero is and what he believes in bringing him in. I don't get that, and he's a good player.
And saying what I said, that's the team I'd like. But don't forget, I've included Keita in there. Who potentially might not go.
Okay, he'll be on the bench.
But I think potentially Montero could go on the bench, because you'll bring him in as an impact player. He played a little bit more than he played last time, and try and slowly introduce him.
But I think you'd choose Crowley as an impact player rather than Montero.
But Montero does. You have something like that running at you when your legs are gone.
Yeah, of course. But he'd use Montero to tire the legs out, and then Crowley do a bit of magic and
maybe.
So yeah, for me, it'd be Camp, Colin, Dean, Roberts, Pedersen, Seds, Sunic, Digger, Villalba, Montero, Duke.
Do you go 4-2-3-1? Same as what I went with, but Duke up front.
So it'd be. So I'd start with the 5-2-2-1.
Oh, okay.
Or the 5. It's actually the system we play is actually a 5-3-2. No, 3-5.
2.
No, 3-4-1-2. It's a 3-4-1-2 we play.
Yeah, but
that's the way it started.
You say that. Villalba was supposed to be playing as a number 10 last week with 2 strikers, and all he did was play on the left hand side of a midfield 3, flat midfield 3 with Davis and such. I'm thinking, why is this kid?
And listen,
there?
If we don't know what system they're playing, because we don't, no one seems to. How the hell are the players supposed to know?
It is so for a week. From inside knowledge, the formation we play is 3-4-1-2.
Well, yeah, that's what it started with in pre-season. Yeah,
that's why we have the 2 there, the 1 Camp and the 2 strikers.
It's not. It becomes a 5-2-1-2 because those wing backs are never high enough to be midfielders.
We had it when we beat Bristol. Alvaro and Duke up top in that 3-4-1-2.
Beat Barnsley.
Beat Barnsley at Bristol. No apologies.
We were 4 at the back against Barnsley.
When it was 1-0, we was at 4. When we scored the second, we was at 3 at the back.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, we changed slightly.
And Alvaro went up top with Duke, and we played the 3-4 back. And it worked because we had the 2 strikers. But Alvaro is obviously a bit quicker than Duke, a bit stronger. Well, he's probably not as strong, but as a presence, yeah, he put himself about. So the 3-4-1-2 will work, but not under Pep with it.
Okay. I don't think we're doing it right. And I think, we say trust the process. We'd have shown lots more signs by now if it was going to come together. So I don't think it's going to come together.
To counteract my argument, I believe if you're playing 3 at the back, you've got to go a formation like a 3-4-3. Because as I said, if you take out the wingers, we have no outlet.
We have nothing. Yeah, because Wolves played a 3-4-3.
Wolves played the 3-4-3, but they chose the same way. They had the full-backs as their wingers, and then they had attacking wingers.
The only reason it worked for Sheffield United was their wing backs. Their centre backs overlap their wing backs. You need that overlapping for me to provide.
We've had that with Ali Dean, but he gets a nosebleed when he gets past the halfway line. So
well, no, nobody passes. That's the problem. He makes overlapping runs, and everybody goes, "Oh, right, what do we do now? Do we hoof the ball into the box?" No, but
you play 3 at the back because your centre backs aren't good enough.
So
that's why you need 3 of them.
Closing thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
Are we?
It's a loss.
Yeah, I'm saying defeat.
Okay, I went with a win, actually, and I thought that it will be another scrappy performance. I think it'll be a 1-0. Maybe from a corner.
You said 1-0 Stoke.
No, I said it would be typical of Stoke to go
and
win. Like, because they haven't
so
won all season.
You're
but
going Blues 1-0 win.
Yeah.
Optimist. Eternal optimist.
Optimist because I don't think we'll play well again. I'll get frustrated and say things I shouldn't say, but when we know if it's going to go well or not. You're going
to be pulling the rest of my hair out tomorrow, aren't you?
He has a go at me every week for screaming,
and effing and.
I like to think I'm a perfectionist, and I like to see things in motion. I'm not seeing it. I didn't moan that much last year because things went right. Things looked balanced. We don't look balanced at all. Under Rowett, I screamed a lot. Under Zola, under Cottrell, under
Zola, barely. We just wanted him out. It wasn't the football.
We just sat there. We sat there crying.
Zola's football was better than the football that we're playing currently. Zola was just a crap manager and just randomly picked players again.
Yeah, he lost it. Lost the dressing room as well, didn't he?
But his football was better than what we were playing. What we're currently playing. He had the correct system. He had the correct way of playing. The players weren't good enough under Zola. If Zola would have had these players, he'd have done a better job now than probably what Pep's doing.
Controversial thought, guys.
It's an unpopular opinion.
So you're going with
a loss, at most a draw for us.
Draw. We'll go draw or loss.
I can't see a scoring. I'm going with a loss. I can't see a scoring.
1-0 Stoke.
2-0.
Wes?
I'm going to agree with Charlie. 2-0. I think they'll score 2 early goals, and we're going to struggle to kind of come back from it. If I'm honest. 2-0.
I'll go with the 1-0, but is it a must win for Pep to make minds up and to show us something? Because it must win. I
don't think so, because if we win this one and we lose the next one, it's not going to just buy him. It's not going to buy him any time.
You can't really say the clock's ticking on it because although it's such a bad start,
I don't think it's a ridiculously bad start.
We still have 2 wins on the board.
We're comfortably sort of in the mid-table, but like I say, the problem's not been necessarily results; it's performances. We could have lost 3-0 last week, but if we'd have played well and shown something, instead of sitting on the edge of our own box and having 25% of the ball, then no one's going to have moaned. But
his interviews are doing me head in already, though.
I like listening to him, but
I don't.
But I think I'm not going to say I'll leave it for now.
He spoke about how he's having to change from going from 30% possession to having more than the opponent.
But we're not.
In actual fact, we averaged 47% last year, and now we're hitting 30s.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that kind of wraps it up from us, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. We're trying to put a different spin on things and trying to leave that one open to debate, but let us know your thoughts. There's some controversial ones this week, but there's no point sitting on the fence, is there? After last week's performance, I think some things need to change. Let us know your score predictions down below. Don't forget to follow us on social media. A lot of our posts now are gonna, the videos are gonna include fans' predictions and fans' teams and that, and we're going to put those all across the bottom throughout the video. So don't forget to go and follow us over there on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram to go and leave your thoughts so we can put them in the next videos throughout the season. But guys, thanks for joining me. It's a lovely Friday afternoon. Let's go and have a drink and enjoy ourselves and get ready for tomorrow.
Stop acting like you drink alcohol.
I do. I love a tip. I love a tipple. Drink responsibly, kids.